what's up? I'm betting my favorite chocolate that you do not know these 4 governance tips inside of Fabric. These tips are gonna help you scale faster, automate your governance, stay compliant, and make sure that you're doing all the right things for your Fabric ecosystem. So you know what we like to do here at Guy in a Cube. Enough of all this talking, let's do what? Let's head over to my laptop. For my first trick, I should have a wand. We are going to start inside of the OneLake catalog. The beauty of the OneLake catalog is that you can discover items, right? You can search and filter, and it's a nice place to get that overview across all your workspaces, all your domains. But the challenge is that what if you don't have access to that item? What if you made the perfect semantic model and no one can discover it? What do you do? So I have this perfect semantic model called City Bike Oslo. What I can do with semantic models is that I can go into settings, I can scroll down, and then I can go to endorsement and discovery. I can open that up. You should give it an endorsement like promoted or certified, but you can also make it discoverable. It means that you can allow users without access to the semantic model to discover it and request permission to access the data. So if I do that, I hit apply, then we can go back to the OneLake catalog. And now I can even filter by my endorsed items. But I have another example because someone else has made AdventureWorks sales discoverable inside of the GuineCube tenant. So the point here is that I can now decide to request access to work with this dataset. And now someone is gonna get an email saying, Marthe really want access to this. So now instead of duplicating stuff that already exists, people can actually discover it inside of the OneLake catalog. Easy peasy. For my next trick, we are gonna take a closer look at domains. They are groupings of workspaces that are aligned to how the business thinks. So when we are working with business domains, we really want them to be governed in an automated and scalable way. So if we go into settings, admin portal, this is where we would make changes to the domain setup. So let's open up our operations domain. Here you see I have a couple of workspaces connected. Inside of domain settings here, if you scroll down to delegated settings, open it up, and then you can take a look at information protection here. And here you see that you can set a default sensitivity label for your domain. Now, these sensitivity labels, they are defined inside of Purview, but maybe you're producing something, I don't know, a secret Coca-Cola recipe. Everything that's in our production domain, we want to be labeled as confidential. We want to use sensitivity labels to automatically protect the data as it travels and make sure that we are compliant. And now we can just have that by default for an entire domain out of the box. Thumbs up. For my next trick, we're gonna head back into the OneLake catalog. And up until this point, we've been inside of the Explore tab. But now I want us to take a look at the Govern tab. You're getting some organization-wide data state, Fabric at a glance information, but I want you to pay attention to recommended actions. So these are actual specific recommended actions based on all the items that you have inside of your Fabric estate. The OneLake catalog is essentially scanning everything, checking for the use of endorsed items, sensitivity labeling, unused data. So if I now click on these, you can see the actual recommendation, establish sources of truth with endorsements. So here you see we should definitely use more endorsements inside of GuineCube. We have not endorsed 2,000 items and only 9 promoted and 2 certified. That's not good. We need to do better. It also tells us why it matters and also how you can actually fix it. From the July 2026 update of Fabric, instead of just getting the general advice, you're also getting the specific items that you should make those changes to. Now, I also want to highlight that I am a Fabric admin inside of the GuineCube tenant. That means that I can see all of the metadata for all the items. If I wasn't an admin, I would only be able to see the items that I do have access to. That would mean that I could now make changes and improvements to the items that I actually have responsibility for. If you also click on view more here, you're gonna get a lot of more insights. You can really dive into all of that metadata for your Fabric estate. And what I want you to pay attention to is that if you go into Discover, Trust, and Reuse, you can actively monitor the total items by last access date and the total items by last refresh date. And as you can see here, we have a lot of items that we have not accessed in more than 1 month. That tells me that I should go and clean up, because keeping all of this legacy stuff is going to cost money, because storage and potential compute for things that we don't actually use. And all of this mess just makes it harder for people to find the stuff that they should actually use. Then you're probably also having a lot of accesses that no one is actively reviewing, and that is potential compliance problems for you. And now for my final trick, we are going to head back into the OneLake catalog and the secure tab. Let's say that I have my AI videos and I have my Airbnb workspace. Now, as I can see from the workspaces that I have now tagged here, I have Marthe, that's me. I'm admin of 2 of these. And also I see that Justin Case is the contributor of 1 of these. Let's say that I want to add Patrick to this. What I can do then is that I can add users. Then I can say, okay, I want to add Patrick to AI videos, and I want to add him to Airbnb, and he can be a member. I want him to be a member. So let's just add that, and boom, I just bulk updated. Okay, but there is one gotcha here. So for instance, just in case, he actually only got access to the Airbnb one. You see that if I only mark this, I see that he is contributor inside of that one workspace. But if I want to change the role of Justin, and I do that for Airbnb, but I also tick AI videos, Justin is not part of the AI videos workspace, and I go to manage access and I want to modify workspace role. So then I select AI videos, and as you can see, if I open up the members here, it's only Patrick and me. But if I then add Airbnb, now Justin is there as an option. So if I choose Justin, and I'm just gonna change his role. So he was contributor, but now I want to upgrade him to member, and I click update. I'm not actually updating his role for the AI videos workspace because he was never part of that workspace in the first place. But I did make him from contributor to member in the Airbnb one. So this is just something that's a bit confusing with the user interface as it is right now. Just wanted to let you know. But you can bulk add people, you can bulk modify roles, you can bulk remove people. So now you have to tell me, did you actually know about all of these 4 governance tips? If you do, yes, I owe you the best chocolate that I know. If you really want to dive into all the do's and don'ts and how-tos of the OneLake catalog, we have a OneLake catalog course inside of the Cube. That's what you should check out.